What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here. Welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I am once joined by Canadian Yorker, and we are here to recap the Monday Night Raw that took place June 10th, 2024, which took place in Toledo, Ohio. Excuse me if I correct that city wrong. And Clash of the Castle is just around the corner. It's this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to check that out. Peacock. So Canadian Yorker, how's it going tonight?
I'm doing pretty well tonight. I had a really good day. Can't complain. You know, it's a blessing to be alive.
Yeah, of course. And it's just insane how fast pay-per-views come quickly. Like it seems like the last pay-per-view was yesterday, but now we got Clash of the Castle, and it's gonna be worth it. Trust me. I think this is gonna be the best Clash of the Castle pay-per-view. Speaking of which, me and Canadian Yorker are actually gonna do our Clash of the Castle 2024 predictions video right after this, so be in tune for that as well. So let's get started. So to start off Monday Night Raw, this was a couple days ago. We were supposed to do it yesterday, by the way, guys, and I had some technical difficulty with my Wi-Fi, so here we are. So basically, to start off this Monday Night Raw, Drew McIntyre makes his entrance, and as soon as he comes out, the people start chanting CM Punk, and then Drew McIntyre just said that he's going to be your new world champion after Clash of the Castle. So if you guys don't know, Drew McIntyre will face Damian Priest this Saturday at Clash for the World Heavyweight Championship. So be sure to check out that matchup. It's going to be great. But then he gets interrupted by the Judgement Day. Damian Priest saying that Drew McIntyre is making excuses and he wants to talk about making it personal. And he said that Damian Priest is going to go into Drew's territory in front of his people and is going to put him down. And then basically Damian Priest had a bet for Drew McIntyre. They kind of raised the stake. So Damian Priest said that he wants Judgment Day by his corner in his championship match. But Damian Priest said that, if you can beat Finn Balor tonight, then Judgment Day will be barred from ringside at their championship match at Clash. But if Drew loses, then Damian Priest will be able to have Judgment Day at ringside. So, and then Drew McIntyre accepted. So, what are your thoughts on this opening segment?
That is a gutsy, ballsy move from Drew McIntyre to actually accept the proposal that Damian Priest gave him. I mean, Damian Priest basically pulled a bloodline on Drew McIntyre, making it Judgment Day rules versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, this is Drew McIntyre we're talking about here. Obviously, this is quite a proposal. It makes it interesting to keep the storyline interesting between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Despite the fact that Damian Priest is pulling a bloodline here, we know what happened with the bloodline and Seth and Cody. Cody basically had to fight off the bloodline, the entire bloodline, but he had help to help him win against Roman Reigns, and despite the fact he also beat Roman Reigns one-on-one cleanly. For Damian Priest doesn't have any help whatsoever. This is kind of ironic. Damian Priest doesn't have any help whatsoever, and yet still he can still take on the bloodline and the Judgment Day. Sorry, he can still pretty much take on the Judgment Day because the Judgment Day is weak. They are weak because Dominik Mysterio is not cleared. They're not at their full strength. Finn Balor and Jade McDonagh are there. Carlito is not part of the Judgment Day, but he is working his way in to become a member. And Damian Priest is still the de facto leader right there. But this it makes it interesting to hear that coming out of Damian Priest, Damian Priest. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a match. So basically, it just moves on to our next. What happens next is Dominik Mysterio finds Liv Morgan hanging out in the Judgment Day clubhouse, and basically, Liv Morgan gives Dominik Mysterio her hotel keys, and she basically says that she doesn't think a man like Dom should be with a girl that makes him call her mommy. He should be with a girl that calls him daddy. So yeah, basically, Liv Morgan called Dom daddy, and basically Liv gave Dom the the keys to her hotel. And we've seen something like this before. I think is Mandy Rose seducing Jimmy Uso. I think Jimmy Uso went into a hotel room and Mandy was right there half naked, and then that's when Naomi started beating up Mandy. Get off her man. Imagine this is going to be the same way with Liv and Dom. Just imagine Liv is there seducing Dom and then Rhea comes out of nowhere. What are your thoughts?
Just to let you know, regarding Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio, I believe that this situation will be ongoing with Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio for some time because Rhea Ripley is still out of mission. I know I definitely did a video yesterday, actually, this morning about how Rhea Ripley is still out of commission because her shoulder is still out, and she's going to be out for some time. Until she is fully back to 100% health. So she's still doing rehab. I don't really see Rhea Ripley actually coming and helping Dominik with Liv Morgan, other than in the backstage segments where she's going to be there to help and support Dominik against Liv Morgan to help him not fall for her. But I think ultimately that Liv Morgan will get her way, and she will get her way into the Judgment Day, and she is going to win them over eventually. Rhea Ripley will not have a choice but to leave the Judgment Day. As much as some people may not like it, Rhea Ripley will have to leave the Judgment Day because Liv Morgan is right now having a field day being there in the Judgment Day and interacting with the Judgment Day. I mean, her and Finn Balor definitely have some history there. Also, what I wanted to mention, one of the things that I noticed was that some people mentioned comments online that Dominik Mysterio never took Liv Morgan's hotel key, but somebody within the Judgment Day did. Somebody took the key, and somebody has the key for Liv Morgan's hotel. So, what is going on with the Judgment Day?
I know. They actually showed who took it, but no one paid attention. But I know who took it.
Who took it?
You sure you want to know?
Tell me. Who took it?
It's a surprise. You have to. I don't want to spoil it to those people that are watching this. So it's like you gotta do your research and go back. It's clearly sneaky. Like you get distracted and let's just say it's one of the guys in the Judgment Day, but you have to go back and see it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil it. You have to go back and watch it. You just have to pay attention to the Judgment Day segments when they talk about Liv's keys and stuff like that. So. But moving on to the first match, we got Iyo Sky versus Lyra Valkyria, a rematch of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Iyo Sky was pissed off that she lost to Lyra, so she wanted the rematch. And as always, Damage Control is ringside. Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai. We all know Asuka is injured, so don't know when she's gonna come back. So, but obviously Lyra just couldn't take the pressure. I feel bad because the number games came up to her. Just the number games just cost this match. Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane getting involved, distracting Lyra. That's when Iyo Sky was able to hit a crucifix driver on Lyra to get the win. Iyo Sky defeats Lyra Valkyria by pitfall thanks to the distraction by Damage Control, but then post-match Damage Control blindsided Lyra and started to beat her down until Lyra got some backup she got saved by Cannon Chance and Kaden Carter, but Iyo told Damage Control to back off. So Lyra found allies in Chance and Carter. So what are your thoughts on this match?
Honestly, it's a good match. It's great that Lyra fought her best. She fought as hard as she could against Damage Control. But you know how Damage Control is. Damage Control is going to do damage any way they can. They're going to try to swarm you. Just like in typical heel fashion, they're going to win by cheating. That's what they did. Honestly, Damage Control needed that win. And Iyo Sky needed that revenge against Lyra because Lyra beat her fair and square. And it should have been Iyo Sky going on and facing against Nia Jax. But honestly, it would have been for Damage Control and Iyo Sky to face Nia Jax. We can't have two heroes facing against each other. And in all honesty, the Damage Control needed that win because Iyo Sky has been going crazy and been going insane with losing matches, and she says things have to change. And honestly, things have to change. They've lost so much. They've lost the championship. They've lost tag team titles. They've been losing matches. They've just been going down the drain. Things have to change, obviously. And despite the losses and all, they have to get themselves wins and put themselves back on the map. So.
Alright, so moving on, we got a bunch of backstage segment. I just want to go through it, not going to talk about it too much. So we saw Judgment Day talking about the whole Liv situation. You know, Carlito said that's cool when Dominik Mysterio was honest to say that Liv was here and gave me her hotel room. And then we see the Miz looking for R-Truth. That leads to later on. And then that's when we see Sami Zayn talk to Alpha Academy. We saw Otis attack Sami because Otis actually thought Sami was the one that pushed him into Tozawa and Maxine. But then that's when Sami confronted Maxine, asking how her ankle is. And he said that, did you see the footage showing that it wasn't his fault, it was Chad's? And then they just talked, and then Chad started talking with them until Otis came, and, you know, Sami saying that he doesn't have to take Chad's shit anymore, and then Otis said that he lost everything, Money in the Bank, Mandy, his pal Tucker, but then he said that Chad Gable has been by his side for so long, and it's hard to, you know, fall apart from that. So basically, that's the end of the segment, and then. Basically, there's another Judgment Day segment where they're talking about the key, and they just say that they're going to focus on their matches. That's the segment where it showed who took the key, so you have to go back to see that. So that segment right there where they're talking about the key, they're just going to leave it on the table, and then they fist pump, someone actually snatches the key, but I'm not going to spoil. You have to go back and see it. So yeah, it's a mystery. So before we go on to the next match of the Raw, any thoughts on the backstage segments? Just short and sweet.
Kind of interesting you mentioned the key. So somebody wants to do it with Liv Morgan. Somebody is plotting something with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is weaseling her way into the Judgment Day. Man, I definitely see Judgment Day because getting Liv Morgan on it, and somebody's getting kicked out of a Judgment Day for sure. In all honesty, that's something that's going to happen in the future. Chad Gable and Otis, they have history going together, so it's hard. Understandably, it's hard for Otis to let this go. It's hard for Otis to give up Chad Gable because Chad Gable is just pounding on him. He's just abusing him. But Otis is going to snap. Otis can't take it anymore. He's got to do what he has. He has to do the right thing. He has to do what he's got to do to protect himself, Maxine, and Tozawa. He's got to do the right thing.
All right. So moving on to the next match of the Monday Night Raw, we got LWO, And I talked about this in the last podcast. It's like, what if LWO recruited Braun Strowman? So we got the team of LWO, Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio teaming up with Braun Strowman against Carlito in the Judgement Day of Dominik Mysterio and Jade McDonagh. So this match was great. It went back and forth. But then once again, Liv Morgan shows up for her sweets for Dominik in the middle of the match. And then Dominik was like, get the hell out of here. He goes to the floor and then points to the back saying that he doesn't want anything to do with her. And then someone pushes Liv off the rope and then onto Dom. And then that's when it got weird. It was
steamy. Steamy.
Yeah, so it's like Liv Morgan. So basically, let's just say Liv Morgan was grinding on Dom and shit like that, whatever. And then Zelina Vega started attacking Liv Morgan. That's the start of the feud. Please have Liv Morgan versus Zelina Vega. Please, that's going to be a start of a good feud right there. Probably going to book it at SummerSlam, maybe. I don't know. Since the whole Rhea Ripley, she postponed her injury after SummerSlam. So obviously Liv needs an opponent for SummerSlam. Why not be Zelina Vega? But then Braun Strowman takes over. Braun Strowman with the running power slam. And Dragon Lee with the assisted splash on Carlito. Braun Strowman in the LWO gets the win over Judgment Day. And I'm telling you, Braun Strowman is a hell of a fighter. LWO, there you do it. You gotta, there's your option to recruit Braun Strowman if you can. But then the hilarious thing is that you see a tiny Zelina Vega trying to lift Braun Strowman's arm, but you've got this huge guy. You got Braun Strowman that's huge, and then you got Zelina Vega that's tiny. Braun Strowman grabbed her arm, and then he did that, and then her whole body just came off the floor. So that was hilarious. So, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, it's like he's so strong. He almost tore her arm off. Honestly, it's great that Braun Strowman is there for the Judgment for the LWO because but the LWO needs firepower. They need a strong guy. They need a guy that can be the enforcer for them. And Braun Strowman is that guy. LWO are small. They're all small people. Carlito was the guy that was there that was fighting against them against Judgment Day, but now he's on the side of Judgment Day. So, in all honesty, it's good that they have somebody that can fight with them on the same terms. And as for we still have the situation with Dom and the spicy situation with Dom and Liv Morgan. Of course that's gonna piss off Rhea Ripley even more. I believe Rhea Ripley will be done with Dominik Mysterio. She must be really livid, upset with that, with what happened. And I think Zelina Vega is a really good competitor to go against Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan needs somebody that's gonna be her adversary. I believe that Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega definitely fought against each other a lot in the NXT as well in the past. So they probably had their history going back in the NXT days. Another thing that I want to mention is that Rhea Ripley will be out for SummerSlam. She won't be back in time for SummerSlam. So we're probably gonna see her after SummerSlam because she's gonna be gone for a couple of months. So we'll see her return after SummerSlam. So Liv Morgan's going to be holding on to that championship for some time. So yeah. So moving on, just want to mention the whole Iyo Sky beating Lyra. This is the second week in a row Iyo Sky starts freaking out. We saw her freak out in the damage control room in the backstage area. This is the second time she started freaking out. And she screamed and she keeps screaming that damage control has to change. So we might see damage control maybe break up. We have to see what happens. People are saying that maybe Asuka's gonna come back as a face. Maybe Asuka's gonna get kicked out. You know how like people go on
on a break, and then they come back and they get betrayal. I could probably see Asuka get betrayed, and that would make Asuka back to a baby face. People are saying that they want to see Kairi Sane as a face, but we have to see what happens. People saying that Dakota Kai is going to get a taste of her own medicine getting betrayed, since she's the master of betraying people. So I'm interested to see. It's like I said, this is second week in a row Iyo Sky freaks out and just starts like just acting like a maniac, So any thoughts before I move on?
Yeah, I definitely think Dakota Kai will be the one getting betrayed. Because I don't see the Kabuki Warriors and Iyo Sky getting betrayed, doing the betraying against each other. I believe that they might be plotting something to kick out Iyo Sky out of the damage control, and I think it'll just be those three. You have those three, and that will be all they need. All
right, moving on to, I believe this is the first segment of the Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn makes his entrance and he talks about Chad Gable until he gets interrupted by Chad Gable and Alpha Academy. And once again, Sami tries to push Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine to break free from Chad. And then Chad tells Sami that he's happy. And basically, they just talk about family. So that's the segment right there, which leads to the one-on-one match between Sami Zayn and Otis. So obviously Chad Gable costing a lot of matches for Alpha Academy. So Chad Gable costing Otis matches, Tozawa matches, but then he thinks it's not his fault. But then during the match, Chad Gable barks orders at Otis and calls them idiots. So Chad Gable called Otis an idiot during the match, and that's caused Sami Zayn to hit the Helluva Kick on Otis to win cleanly. So Sami Zayn defeats Otis, in post-match Chad Gable attacks Sami Zayn and beats him down. But then Otis and then Chad Gable started slapping Otis once again. It was twice, and then Otis didn't know what he was going to do, and then it looked like Otis was going to go after Chad, but Chad moves out of the way, causing Otis to attack Sami Zayn once again. So Chad Gable ducking another bullshit scenario right there. So what are your thoughts?
It's really strange. This is the second time, a third time Otis has attacked Sami Zayn?
Yes.
I mean,
and that's honestly, just like two slaps by Chad Gable both times. Two slaps by Chad Gable both times before that happened.
Yeah, it seems like every time Otis gets slapped by Chad Gable, Otis takes out his anger on Sami Zayn every single time. It's like what Otis or Chad Gable does to Otis, Otis does to Sami, and Sami pays the price for it. Unfortunately, it just seems like Otis. It seems like Otis is going to take a heel turn. Honestly, that's what it feels like. At the same time, Otis is not going to take a heel turn. So it's really strange seeing this. It's a weird situation with a heel and a face mixing together, and it's just not a good combination right there. It's very toxic. It's very toxic from Chad Gable, what Chad Gable was doing to Otis. Sami's definitely trying to break through and win Otis over, and but it's hard for Sami because Sami knows what he's been through with the bloodline, but he's seeing what's happening with the bloodline happen to Chad Gable. However, it's not as dramatic. So it's a tough one for Otis, but Otis definitely has to do the right thing and get away from Chad Gable. But here's another thing: Chad Gable also is a really good wrestler. Chad Gable is very good at what he does, and I believe if Chad Gable doesn't really need Alpha Academy, Chad Gable could beat Sami Zayn by himself on his own. So I mean, this is something. He's just using Alpha Academy for his own personal benefit. Even though he could beat Sami Zayn on his own, he could do it. But it's really tough. I mean, for some reason, he just finds it easier to abuse Alpha Academy.
Yeah, it's. I think the whole storyline will end right here this week at Clash of the Castle. So, like I said, I don't want to go too far. We're gonna make our predictions after this. But moving on to the next match, we got Bianca and Jade making their entrance, so they're gonna be on commentary for this match. We got Alba, Fyre, and Esla Dawn versus Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. And if you guys don't know, these three teams will be competing in a triple threat match for the women's tag team champions. But you mentioned that Abba, Fyre, and Essa, or one of them's parents died in a car accident, so we have to see the extent for this match. So, triple threat match between these three teams at Clash. Be sure to check it out. But right now it's Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark teaming up against Fyre and Dawn. With Bianca and Jade on commentary. So it went back and forth. It was great. I think Shayna Baszler was dealing with a knee because Shayna Baszler hurt her knee during her match against Lola Vice in the underground fight in NXT pay-per-view. So Fyre attacks the injured legs. But then Shayna Baszler was able to grab a sleeper hold with the Kufida clutch submission hold, winning the match by referee stoppage. So Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark defeated Alba, Fyre, and Esla Dawn by referee stoppage. What are your thoughts?
It was a great match. I definitely think that Fyre and Dawn could have beaten Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler, but Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark are very technical strikers. They're really dangerous together as a team. They're just as dangerous as Bianca and Jade together. However, I think that they are more dangerous because they know how to attack. They know how to punch. They know how to kick. They're really dangerous strikers. So that makes them a viable threat, actually, for Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Despite them being a power team, I mean, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark are no chumps either. They're pretty dangerous, and we saw that in the match against Alba, Fyre, and Dawn. Shayna Baszler actually choked out Dawn, but I think she took it a little too far because she over-choked her. She choked her out, made her lose the match, but then she held on to her for too long. I thought she was gonna take it further, take it too far. You know what I'm saying? Because she could have killed her. She could have choked her out, and but thankfully, after she choked her out and the referee stopped the match, she let her go. And I think there was some miscommunication there at the end of the match right there, where she was just continuing to not let her go. Because if it had been any longer, that would have been bad. But thankfully, that Shayna Baszler actually stopped choking her and let her go, which was good. I think that we may not see the Unholy Union at Clash in the Castle because Ilsa Fyre, her parents did die in a car accident. Her mother died in a car accident, and her father's in the hospital. So we might not see them there at Clash in the Castle. So it might just be Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So that's what we're going to see.
All right. So moving on to the next match, we got Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov. So this is a one-on-one match because of after what happened last week. The whole Braun Breaker beating Ricochet and then Dragunov saving Ricochet, setting up this match. So this was a great match. It went back and forth. Two guys in their NXT days, going at it. But then Ricochet actually comes out and saves Dragunov. I think the referee got distracted or didn't see it. But then it went back and forth. They're great competitors. But then off the ropes, Braun Breaker was able to hit his huge spear. Braun Breaker defeats Dragunov by pinfall. What are your thoughts?
So I saw the match. It was a great match. I'm not going to deny it, but I believe Dragunov is a top tier competitor. He definitely has what it takes to be the next next champion, U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion. He could be WWE champion. He definitely has what it takes. He definitely has that fighting spirit. He almost took out Braun Breaker. However, Braun Breaker was a tough opponent for him. I mean, he definitely he stood his ground against Braun Breaker, and I believe we're going to see a really great rivalry between him and Braun Breaker in the future, because both of these guys are really tough. They're really strong. But Braun Breaker overtook him because he threw him into the ring post. He threw him into the wall. And Braun Breaker was able to pin him, and Braun Breaker won. Braun Breaker did try to attack him after the ring, and that is when Ricochet came out to save Dragunov from getting further punishment from Braun Breaker. And there's something I wanted to discuss about Ricochet today that I didn't get a chance to, but I guess I'll save it for another video. But basically, Ricochet saved Dragunov, and it's really great to see that these guys have mutual respect for each other, and they're using that as a team to stop Braun Breaker in his tracks. So I think that's wonderful.
All right, so moving on, a couple more backstage segments. Just want to mention Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. It looks like they regrouped and became friends again. That's when Ludwig Kaiser actually announced himself in the Money in the Bank. So we're going to see Ludwig Kaiser in this Money in the Bank pay-per-view ladder match. And then Sheamus just announced his entering to the Money in the Bank ladder match as well. Imagine if Drew was World Heavyweight Champion and then Sheamus won, and then, oh boy. So that's going to not be fun. But moving on to the next match, we got the Authors of Pain, Akan and Rezar, Karrion Kross's group, versus Awesome Truths, R-Truths and The Miz for the WWE World Tag Team Championship. And this is what I'm talking about. The Authors of Pain are a strong faction, and I've said this many times, they deserve a championship. But knowing that the R-Truths and Miz, I just didn't see them. I just was like, I don't know if they're going to drop it that quick, to them. I just feel like it takes time for Author of Pain. But they're just two huge guys, Karrion Kross's guys. But overall, R-Truth tried to do the You Can't See Me, but it kind of didn't work. They did a You Can't See Me to Scarlett, who was trying to distract them, as well as Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross tripped both of them when the referee was distracted. That's when Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods ran interference, attacked Karrion Kross. And that's when the referee got distracted. R-Truth hit one of them with a tag team title shot, but one of them shrugs it off. But then Miz takes advantage with a schoolboy pin from The Miz, retaining the WWE World Tag Team Championship. So in a amazing outcome, R-Truth and Miz survived these two giants, successfully defeating them and to retain their WWE World Tag Team Championship thanks to the New Day. So obviously the New Day and Karrion Kross's rivalry is getting interesting. So what are your thoughts on this match?
I think it's interesting that New Day is helping the Awesome Truth to basically be their guard against the Authors of Pain, because I like the Authors of Pain. I believe that the Authors of Pain definitely need the tag team titles to get themselves relevant, and they can definitely win the tag team titles going forward in the future. It could definitely happen, and that would give them some relevancy, because they haven't really done anything in the past few months other than they lost to Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, but now they're in a tag team match. And they definitely need the championships on them because we need to see a new faction coming out, and they are the new faction that's ripe for the taking. They can definitely dethrone the Miz and Awesome and R-Truth, But R-Truth and the Miz definitely need, they need someone that's going to push them further. So they need to hold on to their titles a little longer. So
Yeah, that's what I feel. But moving on, we got to see we get to see Ricochet helping Dragunov, but then Braun Breaker spears Dragunov, and then that's when Ricochet and Braun Breaker gets in the fight, but Braun Breaker was a little, overpowered, and, Braun Breaker started to, destroy Ricochet, slamming him face work, and then back first into the concrete floor, and then that's eventually Braun Breaker power slammed him off the steps into the windshield, and that's when we saw Ricochet getting pulled out in the ambulance. Samantha Irwin was sad, so she went to the backstage to be at his side. So yeah, guys, this officially writes out Ricochet of WWE. Who knows? People say that, he needs redemption against Braun Breaker, but people saying that this is it. This was his final segment and match, whatever, in WWE. People saying that, he's gonna go to AEW, but Ricochet, get better, man. That was horrible. That was scary. But if the rumors are true, if you're really leaving WWE, wish condolence to you. Good luck wherever you land. Hopefully Samantha maybe will still be by your side, WWE, if you're in AEW. But kudos to Ricochet. Good luck to wherever you land if it's not WWE. Before we go to the main event, any thoughts?
I wanted to report on that about Ricochet, and not in this video, but I would say that it is Ricochet's last match in WWE, and this will be the last time we're seeing him. It's sad to see him go. Hopefully, he recovers from those. Man, Braun Breaker really messed him up. Hopefully, we'll see him recover, and we'll see him back in fighting shape. The best of luck to him wherever he goes, and hopefully he'll be able to have success wherever he goes. It would be sad if he leaves. Is Samantha Irving going to stay? I think Samantha's staying in WWE because she's just where she's had the most success, and it would be sad to see Samantha go because we haven't really seen an announcer like Samantha in a while. So the WWE will have to replace Samantha with someone who can do the same thing like her. But it's going to be tough to see Samantha go if Ricochet goes. But I think Samantha's going to stay in the WWE. So.
All right, so moving on to the main event, we got Drew McIntyre versus Finn Bálor. So obviously, if Drew wins this match, it's just that simple. Drew McIntyre, you win. Judgment Day is barred from ringside at the Clash of the Castle Championship match against Drew McIntyre. If you lose, obviously Judgment Day can come to the ring. But then we saw Samantha go with Ricochet. So Pat McAfee actually replaced Samantha. And oh my God, Pat McAfee's announcement introductions are hilarious. He called Drew McIntyre the most handsome guy in Scotland, and then he said that Finn Bálor didn't have anything like 0% fat or whatever. It was hilarious. So this was a great match. Obviously Damian Priest didn't think Drew McIntyre was going to beat Finn Bálor. Come on, man, really? I mean, look at the size difference. I mean, which doesn't really matter, but I mean, like, it went back and forth, and obviously Carlito got involved. Damian Priest came out and got involved. But then, off of distraction, it looked like Finn Bálor was going to hit the coup de grace. But then Drew McIntyre moved out of the way and was able to hit a Claymore kick on Finn Bálor to get the win, guaranteeing that Judgment Day will be barred from ringside at Clash of the Castle. Drew McIntyre defeats Finn Bálor, and the show ends with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre staring each other in the face, squaring off, and that's the show. What are your thoughts about this match?
You were right. There's definitely a size difference with Finn Bálor versus Drew McIntyre. I would say Finn Bálor did put up a fighting chance. He's faced big opponents before. He's defeated big opponents before. He could beat Drew McIntyre. He's done it before. However, it wasn't the case in this time around because he did lose to Drew McIntyre. And the Judgment Day, JD McDonagh also got a Claymore kick to the head. Who else got Damian, Dominik got kicked out of the ring. I mean, there were bodies all over the floor, everywhere, inside and outside the ring, and Drew McIntyre was just too much for the Judgment Day. Honestly, it's going to be now. Damian has to face Drew McIntyre on his own, 1-on-1, with no interference. But even so, we don't know if the Judgment Day is still going to interfere. I think the Judgment Day is still going to interfere at Clash in the Castle. And if that doesn't work, Damian Priest has an ace up his sleeve. And that ace is none other than CM Punk. CM Punk will be there. CM Punk will interfere. We know he's done it before. He helped Damian Priest to win the World Heavyweight title. And I'm not going to say that by chance, but I believe that he was plotting with Damian to help Damian win at WrestleMania. That's exactly what he did. And he's gonna help Damian Priest win again at Clash in the Castle, unless Drew McIntyre stops it from happening. So
all right, we can get our predictions ready. But anyway, guys, that will do it for Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. In terms of our grading of the show, it was a great show. I mean, if I was dumb, I would want Liv Morgan over my body. But I mean, it was a great show. Like I said, I feel bad for Ricochet. If the rumors are true, Ricochet, nothing but respect to you, and I wish you all the best wherever you land if it's not WWE. But people are saying that you're going to stay because you really want the revenge on Braun Breaker, but we'll see what happens. But I give this show an A+.
I will give it an A. Definitely there was some things that could have been better. Damian Priest, the OWO, and Zelina Vega versus. I mean, I think Zelina Vega and what's her face?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega's story need to be fleshed out more, because there's no history there with Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega, unless they tie it to something that happened in the past. I mean, Liv Morgan has beaten Zelina Vega in the past, and that needs to be explored more. There was no reason why she attacked her for no reason. And honestly, it was good show. Can't complain. It was a good build up to Clash of the Castle. Can't wait to see how it goes.
Alright, that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe to this video. Be sure to check out our wrestling channel, which is WWE Wrestling Bros. The YouTube link will be in the description. Canadian Yorker has uploaded some videos on there today. Surprisingly, I didn't see them, so I gotta check it out myself. So, as well as his channel is gonna be in the description of this video as well. Go check out Canadian Yorker's channel. Of course, mine as well. But anyways, my name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker, and we are out. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you guys in the next broadcast.
Yeah.